Joe DeFranco, I've been here for 12 days now. I had a great time training with you, learned a lot, took a boatload of information back home. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, who you train, about your gym?
Basically, we train all levels of athletes here. A lot of people think it's just pro athletes, but as you saw too, we got everywhere from a couple grade school kids, but for the most part it's high school, college, and professional athletes. And all sports. I think we pretty much have covered almost every single sport out there, both male and female. And as a lot of people know, basically one of the things that I really pride myself on and this gym on is just the atmosphere we've created here, the warehouse type atmosphere, the kind of bringing back the old school, what was around in the 1970s and 1980s, that blue collar kind of workman's type mentality, and just with the atmosphere of the gym and the way that it's set up and even where it is, we kind of set the tone of the type of athletes that we're looking to attract. And whether you're a high school, college, or pro athlete, we want guys and girls that are hard workers and willing to pay the price to get to that next level. No prima donnas at this gym, and that's really what we've created, and it's worked well for us.
Yes, it did. You have Brian Cushing in the draft right now.
Yes.
He's going to have a good next couple of weeks coming up.
Yeah, and another 2 weeks going to be a lot of fun. We got, we have about 5 to 8 guys that could be drafted or signed with NFL teams, and Cushing would be the first rounder that we ever had come through here, so that's going to be something that's pretty exciting.
Yes. And I met Kevin Brock and Alex Fletcher, both awesome guys, hard-working, attitude.
Yeah, those are 2 guys that kind of work their way up the ranks and might not get drafted in the 1st or 2nd round, but really worked hard and will definitely get picked up by an NFL team.
Okay. This interview is kind of geared towards if you're a coach and you want to set up a strength program for your team, may it be football, soccer, tennis, whatever. What are your principles? What are the basic principles of running a successful strength program?
There's a lot of principles we kind of follow by here, but if I could give maybe even a top 3 list of a aspiring strength coach. Number 1, more important than any program. Everybody talks about program, Olympic lifting guys, powerlifting guys, conjugate training, block training. What people kind of tend to forget is that first and foremost, you have to make sure your athlete's form is good at everything. And now, when you're a football player, baseball player, basketball player, you don't have to be as technical on all the lifts as an Olympic weightlifter or a professional powerlifter. But it is very important that the principles of your program should really be technique. You want your athletes to be technically sound, because the last thing in the world you want to happen in your gym is for an athlete to get hurt. So really, especially on the main lifts, things like bench pressing and squatting and deadlifting, you want to make sure their form is perfect, because you could have a great program on paper, but if an athlete's rounding his back and his knees are collapsing in when he's squatting and you're having guys getting hurt, I don't care how good that looks on paper, I don't care what principles you follow as far as your program is concerned, your program's going to suck. So first and foremost, make sure you're teaching everything properly. Secondly, and especially with younger athletes, I think you have to have some sort of indicators in your program to make sure things are working. So here I've talked a lot about, some of our indicator lifts are the bench press, the box squat, vertical jump, a box jump, because we want to make sure our athletes are getting stronger, they're getting more explosive, they're getting more mobile. So you have to have something to gauge your program by. You can't just have kids come in, work out, leave, and say, yeah, I think they're getting better. You have to, it's got to be black and white. All right, he started here, this is what he bench pressed, this is what he vertical jumped, and now he's jumping 3 inches higher, his bench press went up 20 pounds, and when you do all that and you could prove, hey, this kid came in here to get stronger, to get more explosive, to get more mobile, and I have black and white facts on whether they got better or they didn't, if you're getting results with your athletes and you could prove it and show it through these indicator lifts, nobody could ever tell you that your program sucks or it's not good, because you have the facts right there. This kid got stronger, this kid got faster, this kid's jumping higher. Right. All those kind of general qualities that help build the foundation for an athlete that we're trying to build in the weight room, you could prove that it's working. So form, some sort of an indicator, or just some sort of records, always trying to get better, whether it's more reps, a higher jump, a heavier weight. You got to constantly challenge and make little mini competitions and have something to judge it by. Yeah. And then the third thing, again, I think is I'll kind of couple these together, is the atmosphere in your gym, that kind of a winning atmosphere, a hard-working atmosphere, and a belief. All your athletes have to believe in your program. If you could have the best program on paper, but as a coach, if you lack some confidence and you're not that confident in your program, your athletes aren't going to be confident. And I've seen a lot of programs fail that weren't that bad of programs, but the coach maybe lacked confidence or personal skills to communicate to his athletes, and then they end up going somewhere else to work out because they don't think they're getting the right things at their own gym. So you really have to have that confidence in your program, and when you believe in what you're doing and your athletes believe in what they're doing, even if it's not perfect on paper or maybe not 100% scientifically sound, those kids are working hard because they believe in their coach and their program.
Yeah.
And they're constantly getting better, and their form on all the lifts is good, you're going to have a successful program. So that would be like my top 3 basic things that you have to have if you're an aspiring coach or just aspiring to open up a gym and training athletes.
Okay. You talked about indicators and creating a little competition amongst the athletes. I want to show you a record board real quick. Joe has this big record board here everybody tries to get on. Several indicators: box jumps, vertical jumps, box squats. And you talk about strength a lot. What do you think is the importance of strength in sports? How important is it really?
To me, strength really builds the foundation for almost every single sport out there. I mean, there's not many sports you could tell me strength has nothing to do with. And I know it's gotten to be a big, controversy and a debate. Some people say strength is overrated. For every exercise and every athlete, it's going to be a little bit different. Some athletes are strong enough, some athletes aren't. But for the most part, if you look at any sport, I always take it in very simply, all sports require movement. The only thing in your body that creates movement is muscles. Muscles attached to bones, and that's what creates movements. You either have strong, powerful muscles that can create quick and powerful movements, or weak muscles that can't create powerful, fast movements. So above everything else, that's really what builds the foundation. If you want to get faster, if you want to jump higher, no matter what quality you're trying to build on, it could all go down to that foundational strength. If your muscles are strong and you're not carrying around a lot of body fat, relative strength, we call that. If you possess great relative strength, you're going to have a great foundation for any sport you're going to train for. So that's why that's really the foundation of our program, is strength. And then as we build upon that and as we get different athletes in here, some will need a little more than others, some just can maintain, some need to build it, but regardless, everybody needs that foundation of strength, and that's why we play such an important role in our program on strength. And then also you could throw injury prevention in there. Guys that are stronger, again, relatively speaking to their body weight, are less likely to get injured, and when they do, they can come back from injuries a lot quicker than a fatter, weaker person. So before you get into all the technical training, you really want to have a nice foundation. It'll make everything else easier when you're relatively strong for your body.